Hello guys and welcome back to another MORDHAU video, and no, don't worry, I'm not opening this one by promoting my clan. Go and join my Discord and there's the information tag how to do it. But today we're talking about some Easter eggs and secrets in MORDHAU. Yes, it has been out for about a week now and already people have found some great Easter eggs. Some of these I've found on my own, some of these I have found on MORDHAU Reddit, so I have to give credit to that one. But without further ado, these are small things I found hidden around the map. There's some things that are quite obvious what they mean, quite blatant Easter eggs, and there's some that are a little bit less obvious that you might take a little bit of thinking. Now, they have been pretty hard to find, some of these, but if anyone has found any more, please leave a comment or come on my Discord, send me a DM, send me the link, because I'd love to make more of these videos because they're really fun and interesting to make. But without further ado guys, sit back, relax and enjoy tonight's video. First off, we're starting quite small. Of course, when you load up MORDHAU, it is a great idea to do the tutorial, and it's pretty obvious when someone doesn't do the tutorial. I mean, the melee system is quite different from any other game. Unlike Mount & Blade, where it's all directional, MORDHAU is completely down to timing, so doing the tutorial is pretty much paramount. But there's a couple of small memes and hidden things and Easter eggs in the tutorial itself. First off, you have a place where you do the archery training. Here you have some set targets that you have to shoot each one, getting further and further back to get used to the bows and the mechanics with that. Then they do the hands test, where a naked man starts running across and you have to shoot him. Now, it is a little bit tricky to shoot him, but once you hit him, you do hear that famous Wilhelm scream used in pretty much every bit of media ever.
Splendid shot!
And yes, while it is a small one, it is a nod to some cool media plays. But also in the tutorial, another small little meme in there is the trebuchet meme. When you go further throughout the tutorial, they'll show you how to use siege engineering things and, of course, siege weaponry. So the catapult is, as if you've played MORDHAU, you'll know, is an absolute bastard. They say these lines.
Behold! Okay, I know she ain't much. And she definitely can't launch 90 kilograms of projectiles over 300 meters. But be nice to her, okay? She's a good girl.
And yes, of course, this is a reference to the age-old trebuchet meme, which is probably pretty dead by now. But the MORDHAU devs, they did try. I do love this meme. But let's ramp it up a little bit. These have just been some small nods to some pop culture references. But what about some actual proper Easter eggs? That's what you're all here for. Well, on the map Tiger, if you're running around the red base, if you're spawning in the red area, the first place you'll capture is the outside the camp place. Now, if you wander around, you'll find a lot of bushes, and as far as I know, the only bush that you should really be running into, except I'm not going to go into that, is the one near the left side if you're running out of the red spawn. In here, if you go through, you'll find a secret hidden cave where in the corner is a man who doesn't look quite like he's a skeleton. He looks a tiny bit anorexic, if I say so myself, but he's still got some skin on his bones, but he's holding a skull in his arms. Now, personally, I have no idea what this means. I've thought, could it be a reference to Game of Thrones with the man and his daughter that froze to death with the hound, or is it anything else to do with that show? I'm not really sure at all, so if you guys have any ideas what this could mean, please leave a comment down below. Next, we're staying on Tiger, which has a few cool little Easter eggs and secrets, because I mean, it is a pretty forested, heavily forested map where there's a lot of stuff to hide things. Now, this one I saw on the Reddit. This was something that I saw a screenshot of, and for some reason on the screenshot you can see two people in this watchtower, but I could not for the life of me find a way of actually getting to the watchtower. There was server boundaries there. Maybe it's just on the frontline mode that was on that stopped you from actually getting up there. Maybe there's not those server boundaries on other game modes, but I tried a few and for the life of me I could not climb up the rocks, and when I tried to go around the side I would die out of the server boundary. But I went into spectator mode to try and find this myself, because I didn't want to just take the screenshot for an example. I wanted to go up there and see it myself. And in the watchtower, as you can see outside the map on Tiger, there is a little message. It says, "Hey, who's being a little bit nosy, you bastard?" And if you go to the link, the immigrant link that's shown, yeah, it's a picture of Terry Crews with a basketball, which I'm not complaining. I mean, some people like this sort of thing. There is a reason I use a Zweihander in this. It's not to compensate for something. But nonetheless, there is a smaller thing in the Tiger map, which isn't really an Easter egg, but I thought I'd mention it anyway. If you go into the mines, I'm sure there's a lot of hidden things in these mines, because there's so many different tunnels that you can go down, but just in the corner in one of the tunnels, there is a dead end with some stones that have obviously fallen down, that have caved in, and you'll see a skeleton being crushed by these guys, and it just remind me of one of my school trips when I was in year 3. But nonetheless, let's go out of the Tiger map. Now, this next one is on the loading screen. This isn't actually in a map, and this is a message that you will see on one of the hints. If anyone's played MORDHAU, there are a lot of hints, some with some battle techniques and all that sort of good stuff, but this one I had to take as a screenshot from the Reddit, so thank you to the Reddit. All credit there, because obviously there's so many of these things and there's no way that I could go to each loading screen just to find it. But this is what it reads. First thou shalt take the holy pin, then shall count to 3, no more, no less. 3 shall be the number thou shalt count, and the number of counting shall be 3. 4 shalt thou not count, neither count to 2, excepting that thou then proceed to 3. 5 is right out. Once the number 3, being the third number, be reached, then lob thou holy hand grenade of Antioch towards thy foe, who being naughty in my sight shall stuff it. And yes, of course, this is a reference to the exceptional film The Holy Grail by Monty Python, when they're fighting that evil rabbit outside of the cave. Spoilers, but then again, you're about 40 years too late anyway. And finally, this isn't really an Easter egg, this is sort of a respectful homage, if this is what I think it is, and this is what seems to be the accepted thought of this sort of Easter egg on Reddit. If you go onto the camp map, bit where you do the hand shooting bit, in the corner you'll see a gravestone. Now there is a glint of light which I haven't seen in any other bit of any of the maps. I don't know if this is part of the Easter egg, but there's an absolute ray of sunshine that comes through, blinding you, glinting off your sword, and it looks absolutely beautiful just above a grave with, of course, a top hat on it. Now, there's a lot of people are assuming that this is probably a nod to Total Biscuit, who of course was beloved by a lot of people in the gaming community who passed away earlier in 2018. But I think this is a really nice nod. If this is to him, it could be something else. Of course, none of these are actually confirmed what I'm predicting them to be, but it seems like something that could be done, since he did do a lot of stuff on Chivalry and all that sort of thing back in the day. He did collaborations with the Yogscast with Chivalry. I think they were working together quite a lot, so it makes sense for this sort of thing to happen. But thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this. If you see any more Easter eggs or know of any, make sure you leave a comment down below. But subscribe for as much more MORDHAU content coming in the next few days. But until then, guys, I will see you in the next one.